everyone. How's it going? What's up, Junie? Hey, Cindy. What's up, Hoodie Music? Doing a little bit of Feedback Fridays today. I'm running a little bit behind here. I didn't actually get the join command going. Damn, just right off the bat, huh? So I'm getting the join command going right now. Something's wrong with my Stream Deck as well. I'm not sure why. It's just refusing to work at the moment for some reason. I shall bring the baby boy. That's super weird. Whatever. So if you guys do want to join the feedback raffle, feel free to type !join now. You should be good to go. And I'm going to get baby real quick. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. There we go. Okay. I'll be right back and grab baby, and then we'll listen to some tunes. If you want to submit, all you got to do is type in !join, and then you'll automatically enter a random raffle. That might be one of the fastest baby redeems. Setting a record. Whoa. All right. Here he is. What's up, Layron41? First time chatter. Thanks for joining us here today. Good thing I don't really need the Stream Deck too much today, since we're just doing Feedback Fridays. All right. Let's switch this over to my desktop. I'm going to get baby out of here, and then we'll see if we have some tunes to check out. All right. Say goodbye. That was a short visit. Just a heads up, I don't have a ton of time today, unfortunately. So hopefully there aren't too many people submitting music. Cool. Private shareable link, exactly. You called it, Junie. That's exactly what we want to do. So let's get the ball rolling here. Layron 41, what's up? Do you have a link for us, Layron? Oh, you don't? Did you wanna were you looking to share something for feedback? Nope, just here to listen. Oh, okay. Cool. Let's roll on to the next person. Hoodie Music, what's up? Man just wanted a convo. That's totally okay with me. What's going on? We got a new follower. Synthra 1008. Welcome, first time chatter. All right, we got our first track, and thanks for the follow as well, Synthra. Cool, let's check this out. ID 106 by Hoodie. Okay, I like it. Nice vibe. Awesome. That's really cool. That's a great sketch. Let me check something out real quick. Am I tripping, or was there a tempo change there? I guess there wasn't a tempo change. I don't know why I thought there was one. Cool. So, sounds like you're going kind of like the Complextra route, ish. Yeah. I'm getting some like Mord Fustang vibes almost a little bit. It's cool. The mixdown is nice. One thing I will say, this is maybe kind of minor, but I feel like one of the things that stands out to me as the closest thing to some kind of like voice leading, there's like some kind of sample or synth that's kind of like playing that on the downbeat. It would be kind of nice to hear that on the downbeat. Every, what is it, four measures, I think. And here instead of the vocal sample, I would consider it, but it's not that important, honestly. It sounds just fine as is. I will say, let's go back to this transition here. I do think that it'd be nice if there was a way to make this transition a little bit smoother, because like the intro, I wouldn't say it's misleading or anything. I mean, you have some really beautiful chill chords. It's something along those lines. And then there's a obviously a big contrast between this vibe and kind of like the complextro drop, if you want to call it that. And obviously the build helps a lot with kind of bridging that gap. So it's not a huge problem, but it'd be cool if there was like a maybe there's like a synth chord swelling underneath the piano, and like the filter is like opening up and kind of foreshadowing that like, oh shit, something's about to come, instead of just having basically well, you kind of have that there, but it's a monophonic bass synth. It'd be nice to maybe have another layer that maybe opens up even sooner and kind of is an outline of those chords potentially. So next thought I had, these are all little details, by the way. Obviously, the idea is sounding fantastic so far. Good sound design, mixes sounding good. It'd be cool if that little da-da-da riff was foreshadowed in the build here too. So you have it on the downbeat here. Maybe it's like. Kind of get the idea, but I think that since the way I'm hearing it, that to me feels like a really core part of the drop here. So yeah, why not foreshadow that a little bit and let people know like some more of what's about to come. I think you could do that, but I'm very inspired by you and Wolfgang. Oh, thank you, I appreciate that. I don't know if I've ever made a song that kind of is in this world, but I've always really loved the editing and like the short little bursts of random sounds happening of complextro. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for sharing. It's a really cool idea. I hope you keep working on it. I could see it going in a lot of different directions. But yeah, the chord OG. Hey, if you want to call me that, I'll take it. Cool. Thanks for sharing, Hoodie. I appreciate it. Let's roll on to the. Wait, Art Nerd. If I win, you don't have a track. How does this keep happening? Oh, is it because you're explaining to people how to join? Here, I'll roll past you. Synthra 1008. What's going on? You got something for us to listen to? Some jungle inspired stuff. Hell yeah. Let's go. Let's do it. So this is Taken by Synthra. getting some a little bit of cone sound influence here and there, I feel like. We got a new follower. Yo, thank you for the follow, Viet PH13. Really cool track. I like the ambiance. You have a good structure to the whole thing. Feels very cohesive. You have nice intro. Nice first drop. You got a nice little bridge section here. I actually really like the bridge section. I think obviously I'm going to look at when I'm like giving feedback and stuff. I come mostly from like more of a compositional background / perspective. So like that's kind of first and foremost what pops into my mind. And so for this section, I just think you could get away with more some kind of melodic motif beyond what's here right now. I know you have kind of like this like background, like little I think it sounds like a female voice, like an operatic voice almost, which is cool. But it might be cool to have a stronger melodic motif than that. Because that's like 3 notes, right? So it could be cool. Especially like during this part here. Probably not that style of melody, but just like I think it really like the contrast that you're giving here is great. And actually I think part of the reason why I'm thinking about some kind of a bigger melodic element during this section is because one of the reasons that this is so nice is because you are kind of diving deeper into kind of like the emotional energy in those chords and like the soundscape that you've already introduced us to. So it's a lot of the same sounds, the same BPM, same key and everything, but it's a little bit more kind of like an emotional, vibey, ethereal kind of section. I think it definitely contrasts nicely with the more intense, aggressive, jungly drum stuff that happens right after. So I think that's part of the reason why I think you could get away with something like that. But So one thing that I think I'll throw out there too from a production standpoint is this. I do like this kind of like really noisy, distorted sub bass type sound. Love that kind of stuff. I do think it would be cool to hear some more movement. It feels very static. So even if there's just kind of like some notch kind of like moving around, especially when you're holding those notes for that long, you can totally get away with some really cool filter movements. Yeah, I think that would be cool. And then let's keep listening to the rest of this. Yeah, it's really cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. Really appreciate it. I do really struggle writing more complex melodies, though. It's something I want to practice. Yeah, I mean, I really don't think it has to be anything too crazy. Okay, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Thanks for sharing that. And let's roll on to the next person. What's up, Noxel? Good to see you back here. Here's a track I sent a few months ago. It's a bit out of my usual style with the video gamey feel. What do you think of the structure? General opinion? Is there too much happening? Let's check it out. Okay, we're getting funky. Very vibey. I like it. Sounds a little I get what you mean with the video game influence, but the way it's produced also feels a little bit like a jam band almost. Feels like a funkier version of like S6-9 or something like that. Okay, cool. Get guitar solo in here. Cool. I do have some thoughts on this. So in general, I think from a compositional standpoint, you got a lot of cool stuff going on. I really like the I like the funkiness overall. I like the ebb and flow where you're deciding to kind of explore new new sounds, new riffs, and where you're kind of like broadening the chord progressions, or for example, like simplifying it, like when you kind of go back to jamming mostly on the tonic here. One thing I'm starting to notice, a bit of a pattern, I would say, with some of the stuff that you send, it feels like you have a lot of your drum sounds are very short and I would say thin. Like they sound very like scooped in the mids a lot of the time. So I think that you could really benefit from. I think I remember last time I gave you a reference track that was by Oliver. It was a remix they did that felt really relevant to that particular song. For this one, I don't really have a reference, but I would give you similar. I would encourage you to do something similar. I really think some reference mixing would go a really long way, and it's not something that would just happen overnight. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Kelly B. It's not an easy thing to find your mixing style, and obviously if this is kind of like the sound you prefer, then please keep doing that. I would personally try to find ways to make sure they have the percussion in general has a stronger presence. I mean, volume wise, a lot of the transients you can tell are quite loud, so you can hear the transients, but the body is kind of getting disappearing, and they also sound like they're missing some mids as well. So a lot of that mids are really, really important for drums. But it depends on the style at the end of the day, right? So like when you're thinking more like dance floor oriented EDM, then those things are very important. But if you're thinking more of like a video game-esque sound, then that is definitely not very important. So it all just depends on your priorities. But yeah, speaking of drums, I think there's another section here that I think it's right here. Yeah, like listen to the kick drum here. And the first kick drum, you can hear the transient pretty well, and the body of the kick. And then suddenly it starts getting a little wonky. Like suddenly the first two hits, I think you can hear the transient, and then 3 and 4, the transient is kind of like getting buried in the mix. So that to me kind of signals that maybe there's not enough sidechaining going on, which again, you don't have to do it, but I think it can really help a mix when your drum sounds kind of have a more consistent presence and impact. And so it can feel a little weird when it may not be a conscious thing, but like I feel that when you're listening to a song and you're kind of like hearing the impact of that a certain drum sound is having, and then all of a sudden it's not, then it can throw you off a little bit. But either way, just some food for thought, and I'm not trying to like grill you on this by any means, because maybe none of it is really relevant to the style you're going for. I'm just kind of trying to share my 2 cents, and I love the idea. It's really cool. But yeah, I think from a compositional standpoint, like you got no issues coming up with chord progressions and melodies and variations that make sense within a song. Like once you've established that, like clearly you're really good at that. So there's not really much for me to say in that regard. That's why I kind of tried to focus more on the percussive aspect and kind of like some of those more detail-oriented elements to mixing drums in a track and stuff like that. Anyways, that's all I got. So thanks for sharing that, Noxel. Appreciate it. I'm gonna try to keep things pretty short here with feedback to try to get through as many as possible within the next 20 minutes. I'm really sorry I don't have the time to go a little bit longer like I did last Friday, but Viet PH13, what's going on? Do you have something for us to listen to? Hi, I started producing 1 year ago and wanted to get feedback. Yeah, of course. 1 year. Congrats. That first year can be so much fun when you're learning the foundations. The vocal chop switch up here.
Let me see your body rock, shaking it from the bottom to top. Break to what the DJ drop. We be the ones to make it hot. Electric shock, energy like a billion watts. Space be booming, the speakers pop. Galactic home and Mr. Spot. We bumping in your mouth. When you coming up in the spot, don't bring us we call we got. Cause we turning around the clock. Hit the lights and then turn them off. If you feel it, don't make it stop. Like the turtle, we run the block. No one pulling the way we rock. In the lights, I wanna rock your body. I wanna go for a ride. Hop in the music and rock your body. Rock that body, come on, rock that body. Rock that body, rock that body, come on, rock that body. Rock that body, come on, rock that body. Rock your body, rock that body, come on, rock that body. Super fly ladies, ain't all of my super fly ladies, ain't all of my super fly ladies, ain't all of my super fly ladies. You could be big, boys, you feel like you wrong. You could be the model type, skinny with no appetite. George stack, black or white, boys need you what you like. Body, body, sight, body, body, body.
Cool. Yeah, it's a great track. I think you definitely nailed like that style quite well. I don't really listen to that much trance, but the structure makes a lot of sense. And you're obviously choosing to focus on the right elements. Yeah, and it's always fun for people to hear a track they recognize being flipped. So yeah, it's really well done. I think like kudos to you. You've been producing for a year, you said. So this is great. I think for a year. I'm trying to remember what I was doing after a year of producing. It's definitely a very different style. It was more like it's like chill hip hop beats. But either way, I think I don't have a ton of feedback to give you because, well, one, I wouldn't say I'm super familiar with trance. I don't listen to trance on a regular basis at all. Doesn't mean I don't like it, but it's just not kind of like my go-to genre. So I feel like I don't really know the things that well to like watch out for or to listen for in that kind of a space. But if I were to try to nitpick on a few things, so that melody that pops in, I think somewhere around maybe like halfway through the track or something like that. So this isn't super important. I think the track works as is, but I think it might be a little bit more pleasing to have a slightly different arrangement of how you're bringing in that sixth, the minor sixth there. So you have the D flat minor, right? That's the main key of the song. So, and then there's a lot of tension there, and to introduce that note on the downbeat, it brings like even more emphasis on that, which to me is like a little bit. It's not quite as pleasing, but it is a lot more pleasing if the sixth is being played with the G flat minor, because there it's kind of like just lands perfectly on the minor 3. So it's a little bit like it's just more pleasing to listen to. So if I were to make a small suggestion, I would say maybe just rearrange the melody so it goes. Something like that, or you could go something like that. It's a really minor change, but I think that it makes it slightly more pleasing to listen to. The only other thing is, I think I'm getting, you know what? Actually, some of the only music that I listen to that kind of falls into this space is Gigi D'Agostino. Man, when I was living in Austria and I was growing up there, Gigi D'Agostino was like owning the this style. I don't know if you could really call it trance, but like he's kind of, I guess, a reference point in my mind, and so I do get the style. There was something in the intro. There's a little bit of crackling here that's coming maybe from, I can't tell. That's not, pretty sure that's in the track. Hold on. Yeah, I think it's from like some kind of resonant peak in this vocal chop. It's not a huge deal, but it does slightly take away from the experience of the track. It only happens, I think, in the intro here. Maybe there's like an EQ or a filter on there that's kind of bringing that out. Anyways, yeah, that's all I got. So thanks for sharing, Vicky. I really appreciate it. Hard trance. Yeah. Sweet. Cool. Well, thanks for sharing. Hopefully, I was able to give you at least something small to work with. But yeah, let's keep listening to some new stuff. Kelly B, what's going on? What you got for us? Emotional ID. Let's check it out. This is Kelly B, Where Did You Go? I think I hear some Vocaloid there. Yeah, I like the idea a lot. Okay, so I'm hearing these strings, and maybe this is partially because I just started working with some string players to record live strings, but I think you might benefit from trying to layer in some more string patches, or maybe you could like duplicate a few different instances of the strings and have some different articulations in there, or kind of like try to weave them in and out. Right now it sounds a little bit static. Not a huge problem. Something that I think can help is like maybe just throwing in a staccato every time a new chord hits, like dun dun dun, and then leave the sustain in there. Maybe throw in, you know, a tremolo, like viola or violin, and you can kind of like automate it in and out smoothly or something if you want. But yeah, just a little more kind of nuance to the way those strings are playing those chords would be really nice, because yeah, it could be nice. Yo, thank you for the follow, you gamer. And yeah, also really cool production, just like in general in this idea. I was definitely caught off guard hearing kind of like really clean, noisy, or like Memphis or face style drums here. Is that roughly the... I'm trying to think about the progression here. Hold on. And then what is the... Sorry, I'm just kind of like trying to pay attention to this because part of me is I mean it's your idea. Part of me was hearing maybe something slightly different, but it wouldn't even really be feedback. It'd be more of like a suggestion, I guess, to consider a slightly different arrangement of maybe the melody or the chords. You know what would be cool actually is if you did a little more foreshadowing of how heavy this section is. Obviously a lot heavier than this, so it could be nice if there is maybe just a little bit of more foreshadowing. Like obviously you have like these kind of like very roomy drums that are helping kind of introduce a little more energy, which is great. And then you have the chords, you have things are building as is, but part of me wonders whether there could be a little more foreshadowing. It feels like the contrast is almost a tiny bit too much between this section and this next one. It definitely kind of hits you a little bit out of left field, despite like the sweep and kind of like the filtering that's going on here and stuff. Like maybe you take that motif, and like play it in a subdued way somehow during this section, or maybe not. I don't know. Or I just think it'd be cool to kind of take that motif and put it somewhere else in the song as well. Like, what's in the intro right now? I forget. Okay, where did you go? I like the breathiness of the Vocaloid. Tiny bit of foreshadowing, I think, would definitely go a long way. But either way, that's kind of all I have for you. Thank you for sharing that, Kelly. I only have a few more minutes left here, y'all. I'm really sorry. I don't have more time today. It's kind of my own fault. I have some stuff I got to do that I can't delay. But let's try to do a speed run. Do like maybe like one or two more here. Skyshot, what's up? What's going on? Okay, mostly because we don't have a ton of time right now. I'm gonna have to just keep rolling Skyshot. So we're gonna do one more. I'm really sorry if you are here and you're like preparing a link or something, but we're just trying to find one more person to listen to briefly here, and then probably gonna have to call it. So Band Reject, what is up? Oh my gosh, look at this. Had the link ready to go. You love to see it. Cool. So this is a track by Band Reject called Fumble, featuring May the Pirate.
Don't waste your breath. Yes, I'm a mess. You made a fool out of me. Tell everyone what you've done, babe. It's only just begun. Did you think that you could get away with doing that to me? Did you think that I'd be fine off such little sleep? It's happening. How embarrassing. You fumbled a girl like me.
Cool.
Lost my ego in the fray. You misbehave. Lost my ego in the fray. You misbehave. Did you think that you could get away with doing that to me? Did you forget that you were dating me? So embarrassing, but it's happening. You fumbled a girl like me. I don't want you anymore. Shut the window, shut the door. Get out of my head. 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 Get out of my head.
Cool. Awesome. I like the chords you're kind of playing around with. They're remind me of classical writing, classical music writing. But anyways, okay. So in general, cool idea. I like the track. I'm just gonna jump right into it since I don't have too much time here. But I think overall, to me, the feeling of the instrumental, basically everything without the vocals, is a little bit feels like a tiny bit of a mismatch compared to like the style of vocals that are on the track. They do work together, obviously. I mean, I'm assuming that May is the singer. She sounds like a great singer. I'm hearing like it sounds a little bit like a Kelly Clarkson kind of top line, and I think something more sinister and kind of soft and dark would match the feeling of the song a little bit more. But either way, it still works. I'm not saying like it doesn't work or anything like that. There is a moment here where she's kind of like more aggressively saying get out of my head or something like that. And where is it? I do. That was one of the sections where I did feel like the style was starting to mesh a little bit better with the vocal style and the instrumental. But anyways, okay, that's kind of like that's one thing that popped out. Not a huge problem at all because it works as is.
Like me.
Yo, thank you for the follow, LAV Music. I was just gonna say, I know you have this this little riff
A girl
here.
like me.
So you have these kind of like staccato chords that are doing, I think it's, what is it, 16th notes? Yeah, sounds like six, or is it? Yeah, I think it's 16th. But I think this melody with a long release synth just kind of like sitting on top of that staccato rhythm slightly takes away from the impact. Like the impact is there, and it sounds good, but I think that it does take away from it just a tiny bit that you have like this thing just kind of sitting on top. It'd be cool if there's a way to maybe like slap some kind of in Ableton. What I would do is just like slap an auto pan on there and have it match the rhythm of the staccato synth stabs, and just see how that sounds. I don't know if that would work, but outside of that, it does feel like maybe at least the tail could like turn into staccato, or like the kind of like LFO pattern, the 16th notes, similar to the synth stacks that you have there right now. So that was one thing I noticed. I actually I like that you're introducing more elements here, and like you have like more open hi-hat popping in there. It's a similar thing I would say about this section too, where it feels like there's maybe too many sounds active at certain points, and it's just taking away from the impact a tiny bit. So if you were to for this section in particular, I think it could be cool to just like mute everything but the drums and that bass synth, right? And then start thinking about like, I don't know. So I don't really do this as often as I should, but like you could literally just close your eyes and start thinking about like, okay, where you could like set up your mouse in the position to like unmute one of these synth layers that's in there too, and then just like close your eyes, put it on loop, and then just like try to like mute and unmute it, and see where you feel like it's adding flavor at the right time, because I think just having these synths in there that have a little bit of like a release and decay and stuff just sitting on top, it sounds fine, but I'm kind of a sucker for like a negative space, and I think it can be really cool when it feels like these layers are being manipulated a little bit more to emphasize specific things more. So that's one thought I have. So I'm hearing there's the bass sound, there's a pluck chord, and there's kind of like another synth layer kind of playing like a higher melody on top. And I don't think they all need to be on the whole time, I guess is the point of me kind of talking about that. Another random thought I just had. It'd be cool is if you try to add some reverb on a new track to a part of her vocal, maybe like this last like me, and you add some reverb to it, and then render it, and then try to match the volume envelope of her like reverb vocal to the chord stacks you have here, and just see how that sounds. Be kind of curious. There might be a cool way for you to incorporate like the reverb of her vocal to stutter in the same pattern as your and in the same kind of fashion as your synths here. That could be nice too. And anyways, yeah, it's a really cool idea. Thanks for sharing that. Never thought about trying that mute unmute trick. Find a good spot for it to drop in. Yeah, I mean, you know how it is. Sometimes you need to just like isolate specific things in a mix. It's weird. Making music is so strange. I'm gonna start slowly wrapping it up here. But I guess just to riff off of that briefly before I go, it is kind of mind-blowing, like how bizarre music production is. Like the vast majority of it feels like you're just kind of building this illusion for your ears, because it's just so mind-blowing when you're isolating individual sounds on their own in a mix and you're hearing what they sound like on their own. It just sometimes they sound terrible on their own, but good in a mix, or sometimes they sound good on their own and they're terrible in a mix. And there's some kind of weird art form to like having all of these different aspects kind of working together in like songwriting, music production, mixing, maybe to some degree mastering too. But I'm glad you appreciated the feedback, Band Reject. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry to leave people unlistened to here, but I'm gonna have to get moving in a moment. LEV, thank you for joining the chat for the first time. I appreciate it. You gamer, can you maybe do last one? Okay. I'll do one more real quick. One more. Eidolon, what's up? Good to see you, as always. Do you happen to undefeated streak? It wasn't you, unfortunately, you gamer. But I'll be back next Friday for another feedback stream, and I promise to go a bit longer next Friday. What date is next Friday? Take a look at the calendar. It is the what month am I in? Next Friday is the 3rd. Yeah, I'll definitely be able to go longer next Friday. Cool. First drop of this Mega Yek. I have no idea what that means, but why does everything I make sound like Virtual Riot? Your snake is called Ichigo? It's kind of awesome. This is cool. I feel like I'm being transported to a very peaceful little cloud bed, staring at the stars. Like the drums. Sounds like that was a fun solo to record. Beautiful. A really cool idea. Really the biggest thing I noticed is you for sure need a little more of a transition going into that drop. The drop is really cool. It kind of comes out of nowhere though. It's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of cool. But I would say if you want to take your average listener into account, they're kind of hanging out, vibing to some really peaceful sounds. I think you gotta kind of like guide them to get to this place, like make sure you are holding their hand and bringing them with you to this moment, because doing that big of a contrast shift might be it'd be really hard to pull off. Plenty of people would like it, I'm sure, but I think it's totally worth trying to find a way to build more tension, maybe foreshadow the intensity of what's happening here. Why am I'm talking about foreshadowing in like every track apparently. I guess that's a big thing for me, but I'm trying to think about how to introduce this. So here's one thought, right? The drop, you're focusing on, there's no chord progression anymore. It's just one note, and that's totally normal for a lot of dubstep, I guess. But why don't you have like a couple of measures, or maybe like 4 measures, where the chord progression basically stops being relevant in the song, and instead of having this really peaceful chord progression, you take out the drums and you start having replace the drums with some like really simple build sounds. Have some claps or like a kick or something hitting the each beat. You can kind of like shifter sounds to get really atonal and create more tension leading into that. Maybe you filter some of those drop the more recognizable drop sounds. Hold on, what's the rhythm again? Okay, dun, 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 dun. So during the build, you could kind of like try to fade those in. Yeah. So that's just like a quick idea. Other than that, I think there's some multi-band sidechain or multi-band compression that could be really helpful for some of these sounds. Try to like tame the dynamics a little bit. Yeah. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. I love a lot of the sounds. I like the sound selection in general and sound design. So good job. Love it. Main idea of that drop was to ghost out beat 1 wherever possible. Yeah. Totally. And I think that you are actually doing that really effectively. And you could still keep that, doing like trying to do like a fake out on that downbeat. I just think like having having more foreshadowing and more tension and stuff like leading into that section is definitely going to help a lot. But it's a really cool idea. I hope you keep working on it. You will not know where in the measure we are. Trackmania. Wait. That just reminded me. I like unlocked this part of my brain. I forgot I used to play Trackmania on occasion. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna call it here. Sorry, gang. I know it's kind of a short one, but I'll be back on Sunday for typical stream. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sending me some really cool stuff to listen to. I always appreciate what you guys are working on. It's really cool. There's a lot of talent out there, and yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll see you Sunday. Goodbye.